Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Kendra's card challenge throughout this video, but first I want to flip through the supplies that I used. Also, if you're interested in checking out these supplies, they'll be linked below. This is the 6x6 paper pad from Doodlebug called Pumpkin Spice. Of course, it features some coordinating colors, some cut-aparts, a sheet that has pieces of pumpkin pie, some woodland critters in scarves, and some pumpkins. So all the kind of things that you expect from Doodlebug. I would say of all the patterned papers in this pad, this one with the coffee cups is my favorite. I didn't end up using that side, but I did use the back side for the card challenge. So you'll see that in a little bit. I also picked up the Doodlebug Pumpkin Spice Chit Chat and Odds and Ends. So these are die cut packs. And in my experience, you really have to be on top of when Doodlebug lines are released in order to get the chit chat. A lot of times I discover some of their collections later after they've been out for a few months and available, and I can't get a hold of the chit chat or the odds and ends. So I picked these up. And assuming they're still available, I will link them down below in the description. You'll find a link to Kendra's channel and her blog in the description box below. Now, this card challenge starts with a video and a PDF. The PDF contains the dimensions that are needed to cut the pages. So I picked 6 sheets. And we are going to make 17 cards today. So the 6 sheets that I chose were non-directional. So these are sheets that have no orientation. And I just cut them out based on these little blueprints. You'll see that each of these examples even shows you what cut to make first to make it easier to cut them out. So I went ahead and did that, and I put all of my parts together in a little container. This is the scrapbooks.com organizer. I have a few of these, and I use them for projects like this, and also just to kind of keep odds and ends and different prepped projects separated. And for some reason, I decided that I needed to put one of these together to kind of show how it works. And so it took me a minute here. This is like a tanagram or some sort of puzzle that kind of got me for a minute. So anyway, at some point I figure it out. I put it all together, and there you go. You can see that it came from a 6x6 sheet of paper from the paper pad. I have some other cut-aparts in this container. So this is one of the cut-apart sheets. This is a sheet of just some sentiment and design strips. And then I put the rest of the paper pad just back here so that I would have it handy in case I wanted to use it. So this card challenge is really flexible. And it allows you to use items that aren't necessarily in that 6x6 page. So you can see that I have my card bases ready on the right-hand side here. And then I went ahead and grabbed a piece of the 6x6 paper that I didn't cut apart that has all of the colors on it. And just kind of as an easy reference point. And that's this one. I do end up cutting this up, but I think I don't use any of the cut-aparts in these particular cards. I am using it here, though, just to match the colors. I grabbed a stack of some remnants of 12x12 sheets that I have in my stash, and kind of flipped through them to see if they would match so that I could use them as mats. And then I went ahead and cut some of them down into mats that were 5¼ inches by 4. The PDF for the card challenge also includes card sketches, and we are making 17 cards, but I think there are 16 sketches because at the end, one of them you do twice. Now I printed these out in grayscale, and you can see that some of it is hard to see, but the actual PDF is in color, and the colors that she has on the card sketches matches the color code on the blueprints that showed us how to cut down our 6x6 pages. And you'll see at the end here, there's also a little more information about the challenge, including a guide that encourages you to use other elements, use die cuts, punches, whatever you have around, and also to take the card sketches and change the orientation, which I did on a few of them. So here we go. Because my craft time is my chill time, I did decide to put the card bases together based on the sketches and then embellish them. So you'll see here that I just grabbed the pieces that were on the sketches and for card 1 and started gluing those down. And this way I kind of made it easier. I was just concentrating on the schematics, and it was pretty simple. And then I figured once I was done with this part, I would go ahead and get my full creativity going when I embellished them, which I'll do here in a minute. So that's my suggestion if you want to make this project a little more chill. Just put those bases together first. And then you can just go back to them with a fresh set of eyes and your die cuts and embellishments and put them together all at once. And I'm definitely not going to make you watch me put all of these bases together, so let's speed it up. So here my card bases are ready. They are put together based on the sketches, but you'll notice that I do have a few that have some pieces that are just cut up and partially glued and inside the card base. Those are ones where I wasn't sure what ephemera or die cuts or whatever I was going to use on them, and felt like they may impact the way I should glue the rest of the card down. So that's what I did with those. Now, one of my favorite organizational tools in my craft room is the We Are Memory Keepers tray. It looks a lot like a bread proofing rack, where it has a set of, I think, 6 or 7 trays that stack with about 6 inches or so in between, so that you can lay out your projects and just grab a tray and take it to the other room. Prior to this, I did use a number of different kind of household trays for projects, but then they would end up being stacked right on top of each other and I couldn't have good access. Anyway, this is one of those trays, and you can see that I laid out the chit chat and odds and ends and kind of organized them by type. I have the food in one section and the trees and leaves in one section, and then some of the smaller cut aparts you can see that I have there on the side. I went ahead and slowed this one down to real time. I think this might be the favorite of mine of all of these cards that I put together. So. And I stared at this one for a minute before I realized that I didn't know what to do with it in this orientation. But then I go ahead and flip it, and it came together pretty quickly. There we go. So this is the first time I've done a full series of card sketches. So this was 17 cards, I think, 16 or 17. And basically I chose the 6 pieces from the 6x6. I cut them up according to the design in Kendra's PDF. It was super simple to do. And then I just kind of laid everything out, and I did the bases first, and then I went back and I embellished them. And this is what I've got. This one is one I turned sideways. This one, the sketch actually included, I think, a strip that went across the middle, but I kind of missed that. But I still like the way it turned out. This one is one I also turned on its side. This one says it's a beautiful day. This one says love you a latte. Another that I put on its side after I did the base. A bunch of leaves, and it says I'm falling for you. This one's pretty busy. This yellow background sheet is not in the in the Doodlebug pack. That's from another pack, but the color happened to match, so I went with that. And this one at the top is, it says Fall Traditions, and so I put a leaf and it says Raking Leaves. Scarecrow, and who doesn't love a crow and a scarf? And the last two, this one that says Happy Fall Y'all with a little hedgie. And then this iced beverage that says Pumpkin Spice. Definitely check out Kendra's card challenge. This is a quarterly challenge. And I don't know if she always has drawings, but she has a drawing this quarter. And I will go ahead and link her channel and information down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell if you want to be notified of when my videos are uploaded. If you have any questions about the supplies that I use, they'll be linked down below. Additionally, if you have any questions about how I put any of these cards together or what I use, definitely comment, and I am happy to share whatever information I have with you. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget, safety first.